I have three questions for you, Mr. Ryak. My first question is, the U.S. federal bill entitled Ending Corporal Punishment in Schools Act, H.R. 3027, if it expires during the present 112th Congress, it will be for the second time. How will the American society be affected if USA school beatings continue indefinitely?
Well, you know, if this bill expires, that will be a blot on our reputation. We like to think of ourselves in the United States as leaders of human rights advocacy and a pioneer in that area. However, allowing children to be beaten, especially in schools by teachers who are supposed to be setting a good example, that is disgraceful. And there's a bill that our legislators are considering now that would end it, and they don't have to think about this more than a minute. That should be done. They should act, they should do the right thing, and if they do the wrong thing, if they don't act, if they turn their back on this issue, it's a disgrace. Teachers should be setting the best example. Not only should they treat children with respect and kindness and patience and without violence, but they set that example for the general community. And if parents are sending their children to schools where beating occurs, that sets the worst possible example. The treatment of children has to be right, exactly as we don't approve of husbands beating wives or employers beating employees. We shouldn't approve of adults beating children. They deserve the same rights, the same human rights protections that everybody else takes for granted.
So if your grandchildren are attending a school right now where they are not being beaten, and my child is, can the child in my school impact your grandchild in his safe American school?
Absolutely. My grandson may marry your granddaughter. And what am I going to do as a grandpa who's of grandchildren who are being beaten by one of the parents? The standard has to be universal. It has to be not concealed, not held, not kept in the dark. And how my children are treated and how your children are treated affects the future of our society.
Very good. I have a second question for you. Can you give an analogy between teachers being allowed to strike children for gaining their obedience with another type of work where irresponsible behavior is allowed as well?
Yeah. Would you hire an alcoholic to be a night watchman in a brewery? Would you hire a kleptomaniac to be in charge of inventory in a retail store?
Oh,
no,
I see.
Absolutely not.
Wow.
People in positions of responsibility should act responsibly, and there is never an excuse for beating another human being, child, wife, employee, no one, adult or child. There is no excuse for beating.
Well, I have one last question for you today. Is there a correlation between U.S. sanctioned school beatings and the number of low-income children who end up in prison as adults?
Yes, there is a correlation. If you look on my website, I have two maps. One, a map of the top states for the number of children corporally punished. The top 10 beating states, and right next to it I have a map of the top 10 lynching states. They're almost identical. Also, when you look at the states where corporal punishment is allowed and where it is most heavily practiced, those states are from the Deep South, from the old Confederacy. So the correlation that you suggest is in fact real.
Are those the same states that have the highest, would you say, the highest crime? Are their academic scores high or low? Are there any other similarities?
Well, their academic scores are low and their dropout rates are high. Nobody wants to be in a place where they can be beaten.
I see.
So the student who is living in that kind of environment is waiting for the day when he or she can get out of it.
I see. So is it possible that people right now tend to think that if you beat a child, you're going to keep them from going to prison. It almost sounds like what you're saying. That's completely
It's the opposite. Look, I used to teach at California State Prison Folsom, and I did an experiment with my men in every class. I had 30 men. It was the pre-release program. These were men due to be released soon. And they were men who they did not know how to rent a mailbox, how to apply for a driver's license. They had been locked up for so many years. And my job was to try to get them to be better parents than the parents they had. And I used to do this experiment with every class. I said, look, I want you to listen closely to what I'm going to describe, and if the description fits your behavior, your experience, raise your hand. As a child, you knew that your body was your own personal private property. You knew you were safe. Nobody had the right to beat you, slap you, spank you, whip you, bop you, hit you. Nobody. Not parents, not babysitters, not grandparents, nobody. If that accurately describes your memory of your childhood, raise your hand. I'd be looking out over a class of 30 men and they'd be looking at me. We're all waiting for a hand to go up. The results were always the same. Wow. No one raised their hands.
So then people who are saying I beat my son because I don't want him to go to jail or her to go to jail, they are misguided. Is that what you're saying?
Their logic can't be supported by the evidence. It's just the other way around. The more you beat them, the more likely they are to get into trouble.
And those who don't end up in jail, what are some of the social deficiencies that they may have?
Everywhere we see people who have low self-esteem, trying to medicate themselves with drinking and drugs, and behaviors like that, and to make themselves feel good.
Yes.
But the feel good from drinking a 6-pack of beer or smoking a joint are only temporary. The damage that they're suffering is only compounded by those attempts to feel good.
I see. Wow. Are there any closing words? For example, our U.S. Education Committee Chairman John Klein, he leads in Minnesota, the #1 state for academic and social success. And the teachers there are prohibited from striking American school children, yet he is allowing it in these 19 states. If you were able to say a few words to Chairman John Klein, words of advice, what would you say to him?
Do the right thing. Open your mouth, speak loudly, speak clearly, don't hide, don't conceal it. You're behaving correctly in your state, but announce that that's how it should be in the entire country. Don't keep it a secret, and do the right thing. Don't postpone it for another session of Congress to have to deal with it in the future. This should have been dealt with a long time ago. So now is the time to act.
Wow. Thank you so much, Mr. Ryak, and for all of your work. And please tell the folks out there, if they want to read or copy your wonderful 16-page booklet called Plain Talk About Spanking, how may they find it either on your website or receive a copy?
Well, they can go to the website, which is at nospank.net, and as they scroll down, they'll see the link to the booklet. They can read the booklet online, they can print their own copies, and there's an address. They can drop me a note and ask for booklets, and I'll send them free booklets.
Oh, wow. Well, that's wonderful. And any other closing words you'd like to say to parents who are allowing this to happen to their children?
Fix it earlier, not later. The longer you wait, the harder it is to fix. You don't want to be visiting your child in prison or wondering why your children are beating your grandchildren.
Thank you so much, Mr. Ryak. You've been doing wonderful work, and you've saved many children from grief. And keep up the good work. It's a pleasure to be your partner in ending corporal punishment of American school children and those in their homes.
I couldn't want a better partner than Paula Flo.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye now.
Bye.
don't decline.